Next up, we're diving into the intriguing world of celebrity image making, and today's topic is particularly fascinating: Elon Musk and his kids. We're exploring whether he's using them as a publicity stunt to boost his public image. I'm your host, and let's get straight into it. Elon Musk has been seen numerous times with his children at high-profile events, from meetings with world leaders to SpaceX launches. But what's behind this strategy? Is he genuinely trying to show the world his softer side, or is it all just a cleverly crafted PR move?
Hmm, that's a really interesting question. I mean, I've seen those pictures of him with his son X in the Oval Office, and at first I thought it was kind of cute, but then I started thinking, wait a minute, is this just a stunt? I don't know, maybe I'm being too cynical, but it does seem like he's trying to use his kids to humanize himself or something.
Exactly, and that's what makes this topic so captivating. According to Kurt Braddock, an American University professor of public communication, Musk's decision to bring his children to these events is indeed a political move aimed at making him appear more personable and relatable. By including his kids in public appearances, Musk may be trying to distract from more serious issues or create a diversion that benefits both him and the politicians he's working with.
Right? I see what you mean. So it's like he's using his kids as a way to, redirect attention away from the real issues and onto something more, I don't know, heartwarming? But doesn't that come across as kind of insincere or even exploitative? I mean, shouldn't his kids be, protected from all this media scrutiny?
That's a great point. And many people, including Grimes, Musk's ex-girlfriend and the mother of X, have criticized him for putting their child in the spotlight. She's expressed concerns that X is being used as a prop to further Musk's own interests, rather than being allowed to have a normal childhood. It's a complex issue, and it raises questions about the boundaries between public and private life, especially when it comes to children.
Yeah. I can see why Grimes would be worried. I mean, kids should be able to just be kids, without all the pressure of being in the public eye. But at the same time, maybe Musk is just trying to, share his life with the world and show that he's a devoted father. It's hard to say. Do you think this strategy is actually working for him, though? Is the public buying into this whole family man image?
Well, it's difficult to say for certain, but according to John Haber, a strategic communication consultant, Musk's children making frequent appearances and creating viral moments can be beneficial for him in the short term. It creates a sense of chaos and distraction that might work in his favor, at least in terms of keeping him in the news cycle. However, in the long run, this strategy could backfire if people start to see it as manipulative or exploitative.
Oh, wow. That's a really good point. I never thought about how this could all blow up in his face eventually. But, what about the fact that Musk has been doing this for years, even before he got into politics? Maybe it's just like who he is as a person. A bit of a showman?
That's true. Musk has indeed been involving his children in his public life for a long time, and it's possible that this is just an extension of his personality and style. However, now that he's in a position of significant political power, the stakes are much higher and the scrutiny is more intense. It's a delicate balance between being relatable and being seen as using his children for personal gain.
Right. Um, I think what's also interesting is how this whole situation reflects our society's obsession with celebrity culture. We're so fascinated by these people's lives that we'll watch and click on anything, even if it's just a picture of their kid. Maybe that's the real issue here. Not Musk himself, but our own fixation on the private lives of public figures?
Absolutely, you've hit on something really important there. Our collective fascination with celebrity culture can sometimes lead us to overlook or downplay the potential consequences of this kind of behavior. It's a complex web of factors, and we need to consider all of them when evaluating whether Musk's strategy is effective or not.
Yeah. This conversation has really made me think about how we consume and interact with celebrity news. I mean, are we complicit in this whole thing by paying attention to it? Maybe we should be more critical of how these stories are framed and presented to us.
Well, that's a topic for another time, but it's definitely an important one. For now, let's just say that the intersection of celebrity culture, politics, and family life is a fraught and fascinating area, full of nuances and potential pitfalls. And Elon Musk's decision to bring his children into the spotlight is just one example of how these issues can play out in unexpected ways. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of tech mogul Elon Musk and his unique approach to parenting, which has raised eyebrows and sparked debates. I'm your host, and today we're exploring the intriguing topic of why Elon Musk brings his children to work, as dubbed by some his emotional support humans. This phenomenon has been making headlines lately, with many wondering what drives this billionaire to involve his kids in his high-profile events and meetings.
That's really interesting. I mean, I've seen pictures of him with his son X at the Oval Office, and it looks like, a pretty unusual setup. Is it just a publicity stunt, or is there more to it?
Well, let's break it down. According to Walter Isaacson, Musk's biography author, Elon is deeply committed to his children and almost obsessed with them. This obsession could be a key factor in why he brings them along to public events. But the question remains, is this obsession healthy or unhealthy?
Right? I see what you mean. It sounds like a complex situation. On one hand, it's great that he's involved with his kids, but on the other hand, it might be, distracting or even exploiting them for publicity. Do we have any insights into how his children feel about all this attention?
Actually, Grimes, Musk's ex-girlfriend and the mother of X, has spoken out about her concerns regarding their son being in the spotlight. She's expressed that she doesn't think it's healthy for him to be in public like that, and that kids should stay out of family drama. This adds another layer to the story, highlighting the potential risks of involving children in high-profile events.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand why she'd be worried. It's like, when you're a kid, you just want to be a kid, right? You don't want to be, a prop for your parents' image or something. But at the same time, maybe Musk genuinely believes it's good for his kids to experience these things and learn from them.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance between giving children unique experiences and potentially putting them in uncomfortable or even exploitative situations. We can look at historical examples of other public figures who have involved their children in their work, like politicians or celebrities, and how that has turned out for the kids. Sometimes it's been positive, but other times it's had negative consequences.
That's a great point. I'm thinking, what about the Kennedy family? They were always very public with their kids, and it seemed to work out okay for them. But then again, there are cases like, Michael Jackson's kids, who have spoken out about the trauma they experienced due to being in the spotlight from a young age.
Those are excellent examples. The Kennedy family did manage to balance public life with protecting their children's privacy to some extent, but the Michael Jackson case highlights the potential downsides. It's also worth considering how social media has changed the game for public figures and their families. With everything being so instantly shareable, the scrutiny is much higher now.
Right, social media can be like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows for more connection and transparency, but on the other hand, it can be really invasive and harsh. I'm curious, do we know how Musk's kids are handling all this attention? Are they getting any special support or counseling to deal with being in the public eye?
That's a great question. While we don't have direct insights into their personal lives, it's reported that Musk is very involved in his children's upbringing and education, often involving them in his work and interests. However, whether this includes specific support for dealing with media attention isn't clear. Perhaps as they grow older, we'll hear more from the children themselves about their experiences.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to hear their perspectives when they're older. It's like they're growing up in this totally unique environment, with a father who's not just a celebrity but also a pioneer in tech and space exploration. Do you think this will influence their career choices or how they view the world?
That's a fascinating topic for speculation. Given their exposure to cutting-edge technology and global issues from such a young age, it's possible they might follow in Musk's footsteps or pursue careers that align with his interests. However, it's also possible they could rebel against that and choose entirely different paths. The influence of having Elon Musk as a father will undoubtedly be significant, but how it plays out remains to be seen.
Right? The nature versus nurture debate comes into play here. Are they more likely to be drawn to similar fields because of their genetic predisposition or because of their environment? It's like a really interesting case study in how upbringing and genetics interact.
Exactly. And it's not just about career choices, it's also about their worldview, values, and how they approach challenges. Being part of the Musk family comes with a lot of pressure and attention, but also opportunities that most people can't even imagine. As we continue to watch this family grow and evolve, It will be intriguing to see how Elon's children navigate their lives and make their mark on the world.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see how this story unfolds. It's like a real-life drama that's both captivating and thought-provoking. Thanks for breaking it down and exploring all these angles with me.